I'm Pegg Thomas, multi-award winning author and editor. This is Robin Patchen, who I'm cracking up because I'm making mistakes, and we are two editors for 5 minutes. Robin, tell us what the topic of today's grammar lesson is going to be.
We're going to talk about who versus that and what to use which when.
Okay, that already sounds really confusing to me. So explain it so that everybody can understand. And remember, Robin, some of us didn't start writing till we were a little older in life. Um, and we maybe haven't seen an English textbook in 20, 30, 40 years. So give us the basics on this.
We'll try to do that. This is actually a really simple one. When you're talking about who versus that, I'll just tell you what my journalism professor used to tell me in college, which is people are never that. People are always who. So when you're referring to a single person and you're creating a clause or a phrase that begins with who or that, it's always going to be who. So let me give you an example. We would say the author who wrote that book was next door to me or whatever. My best friend, well, that is my best friend from high school, who is now a best-selling author, used to not know grammar. I don't know. Okay, so that's who, and it's all
Okay, but you said now I want to clarify because you said if it's a single person. What if it's a group of people?
right. That's where it gets hard because then you use that. So you would say the company that I worked for is hiring. So a company, of course, is an entity. So that's, I guess, a little confusing. How about the writers group that I visited last weekend was very welcoming. That would work.
So
So
a group is of that,
group is a that.
even if they're people, like if
Mhm.
it's a church or if it's a club, it's still a that. But if it's an individual, it's a who.
Right. So even if it was the family that took me in when I was a child, blah, 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 um, you would use that because it's a group of people, right? Because it
Gotcha.
would sound funny to say the family who took me in, because who is really a singular pronoun, if you will. So,
Gotcha.
okay, so then you use that for everything that's not a single person. But there's the only caveat here is if you have like a treasured pet, a beloved pet that has a name, like I might say, my cat who keeps me up all night is named Percy, because he's my treasured cat. So I think of him as a who, not a that. But most animals would be that. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does. You wouldn't say the deer across the road who, because that would be just
Right. It's just a
anybody out there. Okay, now let me throw this at you just to muddy the waters. How many times have we been told, all of us who've ever worked with an editor, including us who are editors, right? You're overusing that.
yes. Oh,
But
yes.
there are times when you have to use that, don't you?
There are, and I would take out all my VATs and then my editor would put them back in. And his thing was, that's not correct. To just well, some of them you don't need. Okay. But if you take out too many VATs, your sentences can become unclear. So this is sometimes sort of a author choice, but I don't know if you've ever found yourself reading along and like putting that in where you know it belongs because we're doing it for clarity. So the most
Okay.
important thing is not the number of that's that you have in your manuscript. The most important thing is that the reader gets it and they don't have to go, wait, what did that say? I don't understand. So if it makes it more clear, then you should use it.
And if it's not necessary,
Yeah.
take it out. But that's true of any word, right? We don't want unnecessary words cluttering up our manuscripts. And as I have a tendency to do, I forgot to set the timer. I'm assuming we're at about the 5 minutes because I'm looking at my little clock down there. And we'll wrap it up here. Join us for the next session. We're going to dig into more grammar with our guest editor, Robin Patchen. Until then, I'm Pegg Thomas, and we'll see you next time.